Hello friends, I am Janvi Dhawan, a UK student of Brunel University for a master's program. By the end of this video, you will learn which course to select, which profession to go for, process of application, how to prepare for a precast interview, do's and don'ts of a precast interview, also how to prepare for a visa interview, work visa, PR options post-study. So yes, my journey began in the year 2020 when I decided to go to the UK for my higher studies. I was then referred to Dr. Swapnil Kale, my career coach, and trust me, it was a big relief. Now I would like to introduce you to my career coach, Dr. Swapnil Kale.
Hello my dear friends and aspirants to UK. I am Dr. Swapnil Kale from QMS AFB. Before we start on this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe and forward this video to your friends. Now, whenever a student plans to go for any foreign or international countries, there are multiple steps involved into it. So now step number one is initiation. So here we see first time when Janvi came to me, she was actually clueless about what to do, which course to go for, which country to go, what university to select, on and on and on. And that was my efforts here because we took her psychometric test, her aptitude test, and that is when I was absolutely sure that she is a student for marketing. She is very confident, she is very good in her communication, and that is when I realized that she should definitely go for marketing. Coming ahead, on step number 2, the application process. Once we decided that she is going to go for the marketing program, it was our research team, my team, who found out multiple colleges for her. So we chose multiple colleges like Coventry University, Brunel University, City of London, Surrey for the program of marketing. And then we chose on multiple options as to which university to go, what to select, why to select, and finally we decided to go with Brunel University, the London campus. The reason for which was definitely it is one of the Russell Group College and top rankings among UK. It has very good placement focus. The placement percentage is very good. The learning methods are amazingly good. And not last but not the least, the campus is absolutely fabulous. In the application process in step number 2, we have to prepare for an SOP. Okay, that is nothing but the statement of purpose. Now, what is the statement of purpose? Every university and the college might have different criteria for an SOP. So maybe one university might say, I need an SOP between 1,000 words to 4,000 words. Or let's say one university might say, I need maximum 45 lines or 47 lines. The font, the size, everything might be different. So please follow the guidelines of the university on the SOP. And that is where me and my team worked very closely with Janvi to understand what is her core competence, what are her skills, what she knows better, what are the courses she has done, and based on which we framed her SOP. Once her SOP was created, we fine-tuned a little bit in terms of language, English, grammatical errors, etc. etc. And once everything was done, we submitted that to the college. Then comes the step number 3. Once the SOP is submitted, we also have to decide for the scholarship. So based on the student's IELTS performance, the English language test, we decide which college to apply for and how much scholarship to apply for. In case of Janvi, we again did the same. Her IELTS was amazing and that is the reason we applied for her scholarship. With this scholarship amount, we applied to the college, we got the offer, and then comes the step number 3, and that is number precast. So this precast is again one of the most important factor in your journey of education. Now, a lot of students take precast very lightly, but please do not do that mistake. Precast is a very serious interview. It's a serious affair for the college or the university to understand if that particular student is serious about his education or not. And what are the probable questions? The probable questions are, why are you choosing UK for your studies? Which are the universities that you have shortlisted? Why this particular university? Why this particular course? What are the funding backgrounds that you have? Have you booked your accommodation? And many more. So when we started this journey with Janvi, So one of my trainer has worked very closely with Janvi, where she has trained her on precast. On precast, she has been trained in terms of why the university, questions on why the course, the modules, what are the sub modules, the details about the modules. We made her understand what that modules actually talks about. Also, last but not the least, the IELTS, because the English language test is one of the major factors that you see in immigration. One of my trainer, Arpana, worked very close with Janvi for her IELTS and groomed her for her IELTS coaching. Also, my other team member Sudri, who worked very close for precast and IELTS with Janvi, we conducted multiple mock tests, multiple interview rounds, where we simulate the environment of a precast and ask the students the questions that are probable by the examiner. Note, the precast can be 30 to 45 minutes, and some do's and do nots of precast. One, you have to be very, very, very confident. Make sure your vision is very clear about that course. Is your intention to settle there or not to settle there? You have to make sure it is very clear. Are you going to work in UK? Not working in UK has to be stated initially in the precast. Also, if you are not clear with the question of the examiner, ask, but do not be rude. Okay, you have to be patient, calm, silent. And once this step Janvi had cleared, we went to the next process, and that's the visa process. Now, the visa has multiple documentations that were required. Education, the caste letter, the accommodation. So we helped Janvi to book the accommodation before the visa. So you can have a temporary accommodation till the time you start with the full-time accommodation. You can book on Airbnb, you can book on booking.com, you can book on any platform. And you can have some lodge, some hostels, some colleges, college hostels, or maybe some hotels before you go for the final accommodation. So book for maybe 1 month accommodation through your credit card, and once you land there, you can then find some more options. Also, Janvi was been added to certain Facebook groups which belongs to Brunel University, which was a student group, and there she interacted with multiple students, tried to understand what are the accommodations nearby, and then she is now planning to book an accommodation once she reaches there along with her fellow colleague. The other documentations that are required for visa is definitely your educational documents, your mark sheets, your transcripts, your degree, your caste letter, your recommendation letters, your TB report, the medical test, which is very, very important factor in UK, the work experience documentations like your offer letter, relevant letters, salary slips, etc., etc. And last but not the least, the English language test.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swapnil sir. It was a wonderful information. Here I would like to ask you a few questions on behalf of all the students. So
Sure.
shall we begin?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when should you ideally start planning for the UK?
So ideally, if you are planning for any intake, plan minimum 8 to 9 months in advance. And why is that so? So let's assume you're applying for a September intake. So if you're applying for a September intake, you should start your application process in the month of December. Before that, your IELTS, your English language test, which is very, very important for your application process. So start your journey 8 to 9 months in advance, give your IELTS, and then approach for some of the career coaches who might help you to gain some admissions in your colleges.
Is Duolingo valid for UK visa?
Oh, this is a very important question. So, in fact, a lot of students keep on asking me, is Duolingo valid? So, Duolingo is valid for immigration, but there are very few universities who accept Duolingo. So, if you see the top-notch universities may not accept it. Also, for scholarships, IELTS is recommended. The Russell Group universities also would prefer IELTS as one of the preferred English language tests and also for the visa. But yes, to generalize and answer, Duolingo is acceptable from the visa perspective.
What are the expenses students should expect?
An expense on an average per month if you're staying in London should be around 1000 GBP or pounds for your accommodation, your food, your traveling, etc., where you will have some savings as well. On the other hand, if you're outside London, it should be somewhere around 900 Great Britain pounds.
Shall students book an accommodation beforehand?
Oh yes, absolutely. Because without an accommodation, you cannot apply for a visa. the chances of visa rejections are very, very high. So even in your case, if you remember,
Yes.
we have actually done a lot of research as to how close is that accommodation.
Accommodation, absolutely.
Also, with this accommodation, you should know which bus or which metro goes to the college or the university from that accommodation. What is the expense of that accommodation? Where is the accommodation? What are the locations nearby the accommodation? So accommodation is a very important factor before you apply for the visa.
Can a student work while studying in the UK?
Yes, definitely, and even you have to do that.
Yes.
So when you are in UK and you are studying for any program, you get a part-time work permit, which is 20 hours per week. Also, within your vacation time, when you have a break between two of the semesters or between 1 year and the second year, you can work for 40 hours per week. And this time is when you will earn money and take care of your own expenses of your studies. So this is earn by working and sponsor your own education.
Are there PR options in UK post-study?
Yes, absolutely. There are PR options in UK for post-study. If your course is 1 or 2 years, post which you will get a post-study work permit. In that post-study work permit, you can work full-time, that is 40 hours per week, based on which you will gain an experience within that 2 years. And following that post-study work permit, you will have to get a sponsored employment of 3 years from the employer. Now, I would just like to inform all of you, please work hard within the 2 years of post-study work permit. Try to stick to one employer so that he can sponsor your employment for the next 3 years. And once you gather the work experience of 5 years in UK, you are eligible to apply for a PR. And yes, that's a great choice.
So thank you so much, Swapnil sir. So everyone, please like, share and subscribe this video. Thank you.